What's up, bud? How you doing tonight, George? You doing all right? I'm surprised anybody got on it so late. What's up, Rose? How you doing tonight, bud? I hope y'all doing all right, having a good Martin Luther King weekend. What nippy in here? I hope everybody's having a good night. Whether you hopped on to talk shit or hopped on to chill for a little while. Man, I need to wash dishes. I got about 6 dishes up here. I don't like to collect a bunch of dishes, y'all. But I ain't got to cook tonight. I cooked a big meal yesterday and I'm re-warming up stuff from yesterday. I'm glad y'all stopped in to chill for a little while on this wonderful cold-ass Saturday. Blue tore up my napkins. What y'all up to tonight? Waiting on my broccoli to warm up. We got a third message. It is always better the second day. Like, have you ever tried broccoli? You cook the broccoli, and I get raw broccoli, like the not frozen, not in a can or nothing like that. And you cook it in Alfredo sauce, and then when you get done, you put some mozzarella cheese on it. Man, that shit's good as hell. Now, I haven't streamed in a while. I've been working like a lot here lately. This is my first full weekend I've had off in a couple weeks. Trying to, I guess, get everything balanced, I guess you would say. Where's my lid at? Oh, there it is. Put some ketchup in my lid, like a real redneck. Y'all like mushrooms? I love mushrooms. That's what I put in. Put broccoli and raw mushrooms, the little white mushrooms, and with Alfredo sauce, and put some mozzarella on it when I was done. Man, that shit is good. Or as some might say, muy bien. Ain't that muy bien? Very good. Nah, it's something. Fuck it. Grab me a couple of napkins. Now we're good to go. Broccoli is underrated, and mushrooms are very underrated. I had an idea to tell y'all a few things. A story come up in my mind while I was at work the other day, and I was like, well, can't really make a video about it. It wouldn't be that interesting. Plus, I don't want he's dead, so I don't really want to give too much information about him, you know, for respect for the family. But it was an incident where I had to use my firearm to keep somebody from hurting somebody else. Had to use it 2 different incidences with the same person. But out of respect for the family, I'm gonna change a little bit up on the story. But yeah, look, I don't know how this stuff is good. I don't know how it looks on the camera, but chicken tender, broccoli, and mushroom cooked in Alfredo sauce with mozzarella. Now, this happened. This probably happened about 5 to 7 years ago. It happened, I want to say, in 2018. Anybody do anything interesting tonight? And I know some of y'all tell me that like it won't let y'all comment when I'm on the live. I don't know why. Well, there was a few other stories I was going to talk about. Let's see what else was there. What? Nah, I don't want to give 2 incidences involving a gun in the same live. That'd be boring, wouldn't it? This other story I just thought of, it happened. I had to be in my early 20s. But then y'all gonna think I'm crazy and getting a lot of shit, and it's not really like that. But yeah, nothing happened today. Today was really smooth. Well, I jogged a little bit. It was my off day, so instead of jogging my 2 or 4 miles, 2 miles twice a day, or my 4 miles once a day, I'll just jog 1 mile just to give me something to do. I was a little bored. Kind of not really bored, just restless. Almost forgot. I had to pray over my meal. I know most of y'all left, didn't you? But it's all good. Anybody still on here? My thing bouncing between 0 and 1 people on here, so that's probably right. I'm over here eating like a jackal and shit. We ain't really got too much talking yet. I was gonna tell her, you ain't really miss nothing. I just heated up my food and Well, the shit, I've been on here for 17 minutes, but I just heated up my food. Been yapping at the jaw. This story really ain't as interesting, but I'm gonna tell about. I'm gonna change a little bit of the story that's to protect the family, because the man that out of respect for him and his family, because he passed. Like he didn't. Yeah, he ain't alive no more. But yeah, I thought I'd share it with you. Two different incidences with the same guy where I had to use my firearm to keep him from hurting somebody. It's not as interesting as you think, though. What's up, Joseph? How you doing tonight, bud? Make you a plate. You like broccoli and mushroom cooked in Alfredo with mozzarella sauce? And not mozzarella sauce, Alfredo sauce with a little bit of mozzarella cheese on top of it. I seen you got a Patreon after I get my coat. And you get an anaconda in 2 weeks. I'll have to do that. So how does that work? Is it a subscription type thing, or how does that work? I've never done that for anyone else. Well, see, I don't really know exactly how it works, man. Like a lot of people told me they'd like a way they could like financially support the channel, a little bit to show their appreciation. And I've been getting it for like better part of 6 months. And I finally decided to sit down, try Patreon. I don't know really what I'm going to put on there. I could do like behind the scenes stuff, but it's like a little subscription. I think it's $5 a month. But I figured like all of us, we can sit together and figure out what kind of content I do, I don't want to be all about money like a lot of folks, though. I'm really here for the laugh and the message, You got the munchies. Me too, man. I had to eat something. Been doing the intermediate fasting. 4 hours, 20 hours fasting and 4 hours eating. Was it the little North American orange 22? Well, thanks, J-Dog. Thanks, man. I guess apparently a lot of people use Patreon because it's really damn near impossible to get paid off of YouTube, seems like. I like my little 22s myself. It probably was the North American orange because I don't know anybody. Was it the Revolver Rose? Yeah, there's a lot more freedom over there, like probably when I do shooting videos, I could do a little bit extra And I'll probably be talking more extra shit over there. But really, I already talk my shit now. I mean, if they take me down, I guess they take me down. But I ain't never believed in being censored either. Oh, it held 7? I don't know what that was then. I was thinking it was the little 5-shot miniature 22 revolvers. Have y'all ever tried to cut up apples and put peanut butter on it and bake it? That shit is good. Lady at the produce store was telling me about it, and I tried it. And if you bake it really good and you put it in the refrigerator for a while, it tastes like Reese cup peanut butter on top of apples. I gotta quit eating the peanut butter though. I think that's why I'm gaining all this weight. Well, it's really not all this weight. I gained like an extra pound. Yeah, the Ruger 1022 is a freaking tank. Roast is good as long as it's beef. I like a good beef roast with carrots and potatoes and onions, a shit ton of onions. What's up, Rodney? How you doing tonight, bud? Man, I'm a messy eater. Nah, it ain't snowing. We never get snow. I'm about to look out the window, but I got my billboard up now. The FBI is probably trying to zoom in to see if it's some kind of manifesto or some shit. But really, it's just a to-do list. Like shit I gotta fix at home. Shit I gotta fix in the truck. Stuff I need to do in the yard, but I ain't putting none down. Ideas for my YouTube channel, like stuff to do in the future. Oh, I need to take that down. I done fixed the tag cover on the truck. That's something important because I got pulled over for it. Yeah. Put aluminum foil on my windows. Super shitty, like you got a bunch of snow and stuff. The feds looking for that game warning. You won't let me live that one up, will you, Joseph? Put aluminum foil on it, like y'all ain't getting no signals in this motherfucker. No, my luck, I put tinfoil on the windows, all my Wi-Fi go out. You said you saw everything? That's funny. What do you think, Grenade? They said you see nothing. They say you lied. Down here, when the road's ice just a little bit, everything closes except for apparently the place I work at. You gotta drive and slip and slide all the way to work. But yeah, down south, like down here, it's nobody does nothing. Everything closed. I've seen something where they had a AR-15 for toddlers on the news thing. Hey Jeffrey, here's the names. They said they seen that game warden. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. Now y'all don't leave now. I'm right here. I'm trying to find something. I'm always losing shit. Just pick up my trash while I'm doing it. You know, I need to do like a range day somewhere, but I'll like just like promote it for a few weeks and just do like a big video. And anybody who wants to come shoot with me, have me shoot their gun or whatever, should just be able to go come up to the gun range and rent a lane or whatever they want to do, and we go shooting. 20-round drum of 12 gauge. Did you have to because a lot of them Turkish 12 gauges will hold the Sega rounds. You just gotta drum that little lip off of it so it will fit into the gun. But that'd be cool to do a range day one day with, and anybody who, I give enough notice where people would have a few weeks to, because I know South Carolina probably far as hell for most of y'all, but give y'all a little time to come up there. But yeah, 20 round drum at 12 gauge is damn American. Is that Colt? Is the firing pin connected to the hammer? Because if the firing pin's an internal firing pin, like connected to the frame, then you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. I try my best not to get a hammer that's connected to a revolver. If I can learn how to talk now, a revolver with the firing pin connected to the hammer, I try not to buy, unless if it's a revolver that I'm only going to take out for like bear country or out in the woods and intend on getting it wet and stuff like that, because them little firing pins down in the frame, you can get a little grit in it and stuff down in that hole, a piece of sand, and then your gun's useless. You got to pretty much a firearm without a firing pin. But with the hammer connected, or the pin connected to the hammer, you can clear that hole with a stick or whatever you need to do, so your firing pin go through and hit that primer. It's in the frame, so it should be 100% safe to shoot dry fire now. If you are worried about it, get you some snap caps, but it should be. Oh, okay, it's the AR style. Is it one of them Turkish ones, like the ones that been coming in a lot? So do y'all want to hear the crazy story where I had to use my firearm in self-defense? There was a few other ones, but this one hit my mind. I don't think I ever shared it with y'all. All right, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to start sharing. It was a summer day. In 2018. I think it was during the week of 4th of July. I'm sitting there in the yard with my neighbor, one of my neighbors, just talking to him, everything. He's drinking a beer. I was drinking liquor at the time. And I think I was drinking brandy and rum. And I had a little pint bottles of both. And the other neighbor, about 2 houses down to the other side of me, to my right, he comes, you can't see because the woods, but he comes driving up there down the road on a Harley and pulls up in the driveway. And I'm like, dang, I didn't know you had a Harley, Jay. And he was like, yeah, I just bought it. And he was like, you want to drive it? And I was like, nah, my girlfriend's on the porch. It was my excuse because I really just didn't want to drive a motorcycle. I was a little bitch to drive it because I don't want to get hit by nobody. It's expensive, and I can't replace it if I break it, And I don't know what the hell I'm doing on it. And then he asked my other neighbor, the one to the side, to the left of me. He was there in the front yard. He said, you want to drive it? And he was like, I don't know how to drive it. He was like, just do the opposite of what you do on a dirt bike. You got this. He was like, you sure? He was like, yeah. He was like, hold my beer. And like, I'm not condoning people drinking and driving. but the road was like a circle road. It's a mile and it come back around. So he's going down. He goes out this way, and we standing at the road up far away from the house, and there's a guy just about maybe a minute and a half after my buddy pulls out on a motorcycle. There's a guy just walking down the road. I ain't gonna describe, but there's a guy walking down the road covered in tattoos with a nickel-plated 38 special, just walking with it at his side saying, "I'm gonna kill that stupid motherfucker. Let him come back around. I'm gonna murder the shit out of him." Just fast walking. And I just was like, it didn't really alarm me because he was looking ahead. He wasn't looking at us. So I was just like thinking, I told my neighbor, I said, well, he's about to murder the shit out of somebody, because it wasn't none of my business, I ain't going to jump in. I don't know what's going on. And basically, this day, there was a few days, because people around me was making me think that I was crazy for carrying a gun on me everywhere I go. So, I was started to think, I didn't clean my life up. I don't really need a gun on me like that all the time. So I started periodically, on my days off, usually just leaving the gun in the gun safe or on the counter or in the car. And today, that day in particular, I was just happened to take my little one of my North American arms out of my safe and slipped it in my pocket. Anyway, the guy walking down the road with 38 Special walked right by us, like just looking straight ahead, like on a mission, talking about, "I'm gonna kill that stupid motherfucker." And the guy, it was apparently my neighbor's cousin. He comes up to him and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about? What's going on?" He's like, "That stupid motherfucker done stole my motorcycle and I'm gonna kill the shit out of him." And he was like, "But that's my buddy, hey." And he was like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna still kill him." And that's when, like, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna have to do something before, he comes back around. I'm gonna have to do something because he's gonna kill him." And I'm like, I told that man, I was like, "Dude, he didn't steal nothing." He asked him to ride it, and he was like, "You saw it." And then the neighbor was telling him, like, "You sold me the bike. I was just letting him test drive." And he's like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill him." And that's when I told him, I said, "If you raise your gun to shoot my buddy, I'm gonna drop you right here, right now." And that's when I pulled my little 22 out my pocket, little North American arms. And I don't even know if it registered in his head that I had a gun. And he told me, he said, "I don't give a fuck." And that's when I cocked the hammer back on that little 22. And I think he heard it because he looked down at my hand when I cocked the hammer back. And I done made a plan in my mind, like the only thing I can do when this guy, because he's going to complete that circle and come up behind the guy that's wanting to shoot him. So when I hear that Harley coming back around and the man turns his back, I'm going to shoot him in the fucking back, because I was going to shoot him straight ahead, because that was my first plan. But then my other neighbor that was kin to him got in between me and him when I cocked the hammer to try to shoot him, because he had a gun. He was clearly going to shoot my buddy, had every intention of it. And he got in between us. And I thought maybe, oh, he has him. Maybe he has, the guy just wigging out. And he goes to try to grab the man's 38. And he keeps jerking the 38 back from him. And that's when I made the plan that when the Harley's coming up behind him and he turns around to shoot my buddy, I'm going to shoot him, And basically the Harley I thought was gonna come behind him because I done stepped a little bit to the side so I could have a more clearer shot at him when he turned, because if he could talk him out of, using the gun, I wasn't gonna use my gun because I don't want to take a life unless I got to. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, he has a 38 special on him. That thing's either 5 or 6 shots. I got a little 22 long rifle on me. That short barrel is not going to hit too accurate. It's not going to have too good of a range. So, and I just didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I had to make it count. And apparently, I started hearing the Harley coming up in behind me. Apparently, he done turned around at the stop sign at the end of the road. Instead of making the full circle, he was coming back. So I had no idea what the hell to do because, he's coming up behind me. So now I turn my back to the guy that's wanting to shoot him, expecting bullets might start flying past me or at me. And I'm waving my hand like this, trying to tell him to pull over one of these driveways. I didn't want him to get in range where the guy starts shooting at him and stuff. And I turned back around because he was coming at me, and apparently he didn't see the tiny gun, and he didn't know what to do. Didn't really know how to stop it when he did realize I had a gun on me and he had a gun on him. So that's when I turned around and started walking towards him, and I done pushed the neighbor out the way, and I stuck the gun to him, and he was like, he said, I ain't got no gun in my hand now. And so I look at his hands and I see he ain't armed. I don't know if the neighbor took it from him, if he put it back in his pocket. I didn't really check, but he was clearly drunk, probably on some other like pills and stuff. And because you don't act like that just straight up drunk, And for some reason, I just kind of like went to a different place. And I just kept looking at him mean. I don't really know what I was going to do at that time. You know what I mean? And then I seen my buddy's little girl come running past me, like in between us, coming up to my buddy that was on the motorcycle, give him a hug because he come back on the motorcycle, and seeing the kid run by, I guess made me snap out of it. And I told him, I said, don't you ever do no shit like that again. And I cocked the hammer forward, really slowly because them things go off easy. Set it back on that safety notch, and I put it in my pocket. So after that, I made my mind up. If I'm going to carry me a pocket gun, I'm going to carry something that's semi-automatic or something that shoots a little bit bigger of a round that has a bigger barrel than just that. That's going to be a tad bit more accurate. And that's why I bought the Beretta. Because the Beretta, I know if I need a gun in my pocket, I got 7 shots and 6 more shots if I ever get put in a situation like that again. Because I realized in my mind, I was thinking if, a legal self-defense situation, somebody going to try to rob you, it's going to be close quarters. And this necessarily wasn't as close as they would say it would be. He was well in the distance to shoot me with either that snub nose 38 special or that 357. I'm pretty sure it was a 38. It could have been because 357 looks very similar in size, But, and I also, I had a officer model 1911 Rock Island at that time also. And I was carrying another day, and I shouldn't have rode with him, but my neighbor was like, my cousin got drunk and took off walking to his house. I was just going to try to pick him up because I don't want him to get in trouble walking all the way to his house. And this was probably a month later, and I'm in the back seat of this van. That my buddy, my neighbor, he's drunk. His wife's driving. I'm in the back seat, and he was clearly nervous, but he was trying to do the right thing. So that's why I guess he had me with him, because he knew something he wasn't quite right, And I guess I shouldn't have went, because I mean, he should have handled that on his own. It's just the heart I got, I didn't, and I don't do stuff like that no more. I handle my own business, and I expect most people to do the same. And I mean, I hate that, but that's how the law really looks at it. You can't be putting yourself in a situation. I didn't expect nothing to go wrong. I figured at most they might fist fight or whatever, or fuss for a minute. He get in the car and go back to his house, And I just happened to have my 45 on me, my short barrel 1911, my officer model. So I'm sitting in this van. He finds him walking down the road, and he hops out, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry if I upset you. You want to just get in and we come back home? We done cooking. You can eat and sleep it off." And I see this man open up a knife. Well, I couldn't see clearly that he had a knife, but I seen the motion because it was nighttime. And I seen the motion that he opens up a knife. And then he's like, "You want to go with me, motherfucker?" And he starts jugging the knife at him, And he opens up another knife, and he's over there like this, swinging the knife, stabbing at him. And my buddy's putting up his fist trying to get back from him, because he's getting pretty close to getting him with a knife or whatever he had. I'm about 99.99% sure, like the Lysol bottle, that he had a knife on him. But that 0.1%, and I'm over here like his wife done got out and stuff like that. He ain't listening to nobody. He's over there just trying to stab him, fucked up as hell. So I'm trying to open up the door on this minivan, and they got the child lock on. And I'm over here trying to open up the other side door, and they got the child lock on it. So I have to climb over the seats and jump out the driver door. I jump out with my 45. I'm like, "If you stab him, I'm going to drop you right here, right now, motherfucker." And he turned to me. He was like, "Then drop me, man, drop me." He was wigging out on me. And he probably good 15 feet from me at this time. And my buddy, like we in like a little standoff, and my buddy gets in front of me because he's closer to me now, because he backed up to me when I pulled the gun and was having a little standoff. And he's closer to me, but he got in front of me. And I pushed him out the way, and he got back in front of me. I guess he figured he had it. I don't know. I guess he didn't want me to shoot him. And he's inching towards me with his hands like this, to the side, and looking like he got knives, but it's dark. I can see his silhouette, and I can see his stance, and he looks like he got knives, but I'm not 100% sure. And he keeps inching to me. I'm on the white line on the side of the road, and I done realized I backed up into the dirt, and I felt myself stumble because it was a little bit of a drop. And that's when I realized, made up in my mind, because this is a 3-lane road. It got a first lane, got a middle lane, the emergency lane, and it's got the lane that I just stepped out of into the road on I guess you would call it the shoulder or on the side of the road. And this guy done inch from being catty corner to me way on the other side of the road in the dirt to being on that first, done past that first yellow line in the emergency lane, or the turning lane, whatever you want to call it. And keep in mind, this is probably like midnight, 1:30 in the morning. Might even have been 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember. I was a little drunk myself. Like I was coming out of being drunk, done ate something, was gonna go to bed soon, and I don't usually carry a firearm while drinking. Well, I don't drink at all now, but what was I gonna say? Cars was going up and down the road while I got a gun out, and I keep trying to look at his hands when the car is going by to see if it's a knife, but I could never. You know how sometimes light just don't glint the right way where you can see something shiny. That's what I was looking for. I wanted to be sure he had a knife, but I done made my mind up because he's inching on me and everything else, and he's telling me to kill him. I figured he was fucked up in the head, suicidal, and he's getting so close to me that I made my mind up. If he crosses that yellow line, I'm gonna have to give him all 7 of what I got in the mag, dump the whole mag in him. And he touched his first foot, touched that yellow line, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm about to have to shoot him. And I done took my thumb safety off, pushed my buddy out the way, shoved him one more time, put my finger on the trigger, and he done went past that yellow, and my buddy's coming back. And I shove him one more time, start depressing the trigger and line up, and I don't see him. And that little bit of time, he done took off up the road running. I don't know if he knew it was about to happen. I don't know. Just by the grace of God, he decided to turn around and took off up the road. And that was that. My heart was racing at like 120 miles per hour. My eyes were bug-eyed. Cars still going up and down the road and everything. And that was the end of that story. About 6 weeks later, him and his girlfriend was having an altercation, and somebody called the law, or he was fussing, showing his ass up in his neighborhood. Somebody called the law somehow, and he done the same thing with a cop. Come at him with a knife, and the cop shot at him like 10 times, hit him like 9 or 8 or something like that, and killed him. It's a damn shame. Go to find out his brother committed suicide about a year prior to his own death. Guess he just wanted to kill himself, and he just didn't have the heart to do it himself. He wanted somebody else to do it for him. Damn shame, though. The few times I talked to him sober, he was a good guy. Just, man, I really hate that. Sometimes you think you done spared somebody, and you think maybe they can change their ways, and they just don't. Let's see what y'all done text. Commenting. Sorry I got off on a big long story. And keep in mind, even though I dragged out the story and giving y'all details, this happened like that, like in a split second. Just in my mind, everything was going super slow. The EAA, that's one of them snub nose lightweight 357s, ain't they, Joseph? It's okay to have a little bit of danger. That's why I got my lightweight 357. It just sounds like a bad idea sometimes. Like, it's easy to carry, but damn. What's up, Texas? How you doing tonight? I seen your comment pop up, but I was in the middle of the story and I didn't want to get sidetracked. I hope you're doing all right tonight, and I hope you didn't skip out. Dang, that story. That's a scary story. You got any more self-defense story? I got a few more. There's some I might not be able to legally tell. He lucky he dodged the 7 bowling balls. Yeah. I learned my lesson. Like, you don't want something that can't give you rapid fire. You don't want to be over there with a little tiny gun. You got this much handle. Every time you shoot it, that motherfucker jump up like this. You got to reset that thing in your hand, cock it back. You don't want that. Well, this one time, let me get my 22 when I'm talking about it. I left it in my britches. Never know when you might need it. I leave the Charleston. Why? I don't keep it in my pocket when I'm at home late at night. Ain't expecting. I'll go back out to get blue before I go to bed, but that's it. And I'm good with my 22 just going out there. Can't show no mercy. Well, I believe every life is valuable. So I believe if I ain't trying to do everything I can to avoid from taking a life, I got to answer to anything I do, especially something as valuable, something you can't return like a life. I got to answer to that one day in heaven, in paradise on Judgment Day. I got to answer to that, to my God. Everybody's God, the Creator. You concealing the 44 Colt Anaconda? Is that a snubby? Oh, it's 6 inches. That's a big gun. Yeah, that's terrible. And then like the family, they, treated like the cop done something wrong, that he was just sharpening his knife and all this, that, and the other. But like, I knew his mentality. That cop, I think that cop was like 19 years old. He got to think about that every day. He got to wake up and see that man's face. He got to close his eyes and see that man's face. He ain't going to be able to sleep the same. He ain't going to be able to look at people the same. You know? J-Dog be balling on the guns. I need J-Dog sponsor. It literally weighs 3.5 pounds. Of course, he was a good boy. I'm gonna give me a Colt Python one day. Yeah, that's what they say. My grandpa, he never slept at night. He'd be up and down, walking down the halls all night long. He'd exercise and everything, keep his mind clear. And exercise really does keep your mind clear. Who got the upper hand? The person who's planning on hurting people? Dang. That's bad, though. That's a bad thing to witness. Yeah, I used to have problems with that up until I got real close to God, and through God, God really cured me of a lot of my problems I used to have through, prayer, exercise, fasting. All right, this other story. I used to live. This is about the only information I'm gonna tell y'all about me, personal. But I used to be married, and I used to live about 45 minutes away from here. And me and my wife at that time, and that's the reason we wasn't together no longer than we was, just like 3 or 4 years, was that we couldn't get along. We fussed a lot. We're out there fussing in the yard, and the neighbor, he was clearly on some meth or something that keep you all bug-eyed and twitching all the time. He come up like, you don't be hollering at no ladies and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, first of all, why you getting in my fucking business? That's what I told him. I said, why you getting in my fucking business? But I was thinking to myself, what kind of person are you? First of all, gonna be one-sided. You hear a person cussing me like a dog and I can't fuss back at them. Fuck you. You know? And because I'm type of person, I got a thick hide. You got to do a lot to me for me to really get mad. Even more now than then because I was young. But either way, somehow we wound up fist fighting. Me and this meth head, we fighting like a motherfucker. And I started getting the upper hand on him. And I had him up towards the railings about kind of had him, I guess you could say, on the ropes. I kind of had him in the corner, and had advantage of him. And he kind of like dipped his head down, and I started hitting him in the back of the head, which now I found out is not a good idea. And I'm not no badass or nothing, just keep that in mind. But I felt the 9mm I had start wiggling, like I felt him grab it. So I sit there and I started punching his fist, kind of freaking out a little bit because he's grabbing my gun, my loaded gun on my hip, you know. And he lets go of the gun, and I shove him, because he done pushed me back a little bit while you're trying to get the gun and had me up against a little railing on this back porch. So I shove him back, and I say, "Don't you touch my effing gun." And he sits there and he hits me, so we start swinging again. And I get him up near the railings, and he ducks his head back down again and shoves me back up against the railing, trying to push me over the railing while I'm punching him, trying to keep him from pushing me over the railing. And then I felt him grab my gun again, start wiggling it, and I felt my whole gun go sideways like that in my waistband. And that's when I was freaking out. I grabbed his wrist and I started elbowing him in the face, and he let go of the gun. And the gun was like hanging, about to come out, because like that much of the barrel was hanging in my waistband. And so I said, I pushed it back down in my holster. I said, "Don't you touch my fucking gun, dude. I'm telling you, this is the last time I'm telling you." And he pointed, he told me, he said, what did he say? He said something about, "You ain't gonna do nothing." And I pulled out the gun and I had it just down to my side. And he said, "You ain't gonna do nothing with that gun," pointed right there at my gun, And that's when I looked him dead in the eyes and I racked the gun to let him know it was loaded. The round in the chamber bounced off the porch. I said, "Come at me and find out." And he looked at me, he looked down at the gun, looked back up at me in the eyes again, and he jumped over that railing and took back, off to his house, running to his house. You know how it is when you're a young buck. I was kind of mad, So I set the gun down on the bed in the house, and I'm hollering in the house, coming back outside. The door is open. I said, I'm going to beat this motherfucker's ass like a man from my yard to his yard and back all over the damn neighborhood. And right when I made it to my back door, he's standing at the steps of my little thing, of my little porch, and he got tears coming down his eyes, and he's like, I'm calling the law on you, or I called the law on you, and you're going to jail for pulling a gun on me. And then he just like turned around, took off back to his house, you know. And I was like, I was hoping he was bullshitting, because I'm thinking I'm going to jail. I done pulled a gun on somebody, you know. And because I'm young, I'm stressing out about it. But I was sitting in the house, and it's been like 30, 45 minutes. I done forgot about it, you know. And then all of a sudden, neighbor knocks on the door, the neighbor's wife. And I open the door, and she's like, there's a police officer outside. They want to talk to you about what happened earlier. And I was like, all right. So I figured I'd grab my knife, put it in my waistband, because they're going to want to see it. I wasn't quite living all the way right then, so I didn't want to be up in my house. So I go out the door, and right when I cut the corner, there's there's 4 police officers with their Glocks out, and they're like, put your fucking hands in there now. I'll blow your fucking head off. And I'm like, it kind of stunned me. And my natural reaction was to like kind of chuckle. So I guess it made them more nervous, because they acted more nervous, kind of stumbled at their words, which made me more nervous, and I chuckled more. I was like, what's going on, guys? Can't we just talk? And then they kind of stumbled with their words, telling me to turn around and stuff. So I chuckled a little bit more. I was a little bit stoned too. I used to smoke pot. And they tell me to back up, get on my knees, put my hand, interlock my fingers behind my head. And then they sent the old cop. There's a fat old cop, was one of the 4 of them. The other 3 look like G.I. fucking Joes. And they sent this big ass fucking farm pig of an elderly man to come put me in handcuffs. But then again, he might have been the vet. He might have been the fucking Rambo motherfucker, you know? He might have been, it might have been like Steven Seagal and took on like the cheeseburgers here lately, as that's his little hobby, you know? But he come up and put a handcuff on my right hand, put it behind my back, put a handcuff on my left hand. Well, he didn't put on my left hand. I think he even told me to look that way when he put my hand. I looked that way, put my hand. I was like, hey man, I got a 9mm on my hip right here. It was a high point too. It was a fucking high point. It wasn't high enough, but it was a high point. And he took that high point off of me. And he was like, you got any other weapons? I was like, no, sir. And he pats me down, and he pulls out this big ass jar of weed, and he shakes it and looks at it and sets it on the ground. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to jail. That's a felony right there. I didn't live right now. You know, basically, they got me up, took my story, took the story of everybody that was in the neighborhood that happened to be out and seeing it, and even his own wife's story, everything else. And I told him, I was like, they tried to take the gun off me. They told me the only thing I done wrong was not shoot him twice in the chest and once in the head. And I was like, well, I don't want to shoot nobody unless I got to. You know, I'm not afraid to shoot somebody. I mean, he pushed me right there at that line. He had his choice, and he decided not to take, the room temperature challenge. Why I got my hand still behind my back? Guess I had a little flashback or some shit. But the cop went to look for that jar of weed. One of the neighbor kids that lived down the road, I'm always nice to everybody in the neighborhood. And one of the neighbor's kids that always came down to hang out with my kid, he went and picked up the jar of weed and threw it on my bird pile, and it fell down in between the bushes and stuff. And the cops never paid attention to the kids running around. He just picked up the jar and threw it away. Like, I don't know if the kid thought it was some trash or if he was a little bit smart. But that cop went back to look for that jar and he couldn't find it. And he looked dumbfounded. And they took me out of handcuffs. And then that cop handed me, put my pistol in my jacket pocket and put my ammunition in my other pocket and then put my magazine in my shorts pocket. And he whispered in my ear like a serial killer. He said, if you reach for that gun or in any of them pockets, it's not going to be good. And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, you just unloaded this motherfucker. Went through all my pockets. You unloaded my magazine. And you put all of it, like gun, bullets, ammo, and then magazine in my pocket. So I got to literally, to try to assault you, I got to literally take the magazine out, push all these rounds in there, put it in the gun, take it off of safety, rack it, then fire it. And you just told me if I reach in my pocket, it ain't going to be good. But I was just like, yes, sir. And right when they took me out of cuffs, I said, I don't know why he's going to call the law on somebody anyway. He sits there and brags all the time that he has 6 outstanding warrants for his arrest, and a few of them are felonies. And he said, is that right? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, okay. They walked over there, asked him for his name, ran his name, and they took him to jail. I pulled a Charleston White on his ass. Was I wrong? He tried to get me go to jail, try to kill me and get me go to jail in my mind. And the motherfucker was such a bitch. He wanted to see me go to jail because he was leaving to go take trash off, seen the cops whip up in my yard, and he did a U-turn and pulled back up in the yard. And then he lied to the cops on top of that because he said I was waving guns at everybody in the neighborhood and then barricaded myself in my home. And they said they was mobilizing like a SWAT team or whatever to come up there. Thought it was some kind of hostage situation. But yeah, he went to jail for like 90 days. I think his grandma bailed him out there early. Let's see. Let's get back. Ever since I've been praying to God every night before bed, slept like a baby. Me too. I sleep real good, and with Blue in the bed with me. He ain't worth the shit for guard, but he's good company. Well, see, I pray a different way. I don't like, there's certain prayers I got to pray kneeling and everything else in my beliefs. Yeah, it could have had a very bad ending, and you don't want the feeling if you ain't never had the feeling. You don't want to know the feeling of person trying to hurt me. We trying to fight. Person grabs my gun, has good grip on my gun. Oh shit, my gun can come off of me, and this person that wants to hurt me is about to try to got control of my gun, and I need to get control back. That's a freak out and a half. Like, anytime I watch like a donut operator video or any kind of police video and the criminal grabs a gun on a cop, my heart starts pumping because I'm thinking of the same time when I was in that situation. And I really, really got empathy for that situation. That is a stressful situation. I'm talking about Newport 100 and 4 hits when you get done. That's how much stress it is. I'm the prime definition of fuck around, find out. Well, see, I try not to set myself as being a tough person, but like, I'm gonna make sure, to the best of my ability, I'm gonna be okay at the end of the day. And anybody else that's with me under my protection is gonna be okay at the end of the day. My job when I leave this house is to come back to this house unharmed, uninjured, breathing, if the Lord's willing. And at the end of the day, if I got an opportunity, I'm gonna try my best to do everything I can not to shoot somebody. I think, I think I can, certain situations, you can make it go a little longer than you should. You just gotta play it by ear. But I try my best if I'm in a situation not to have to take nobody's life. Yeah, high point do work like a motherfucker. A high point 45, hell yeah. You can put a kid in it so it take 1911 mags. I want a high point 45 carbine so I can put the kid in it to put 1911 mags in it. He Elo laughed my ass off. He called the cops, and he was the one that was wanted. Yeah, he called the law, and he was like extremely wanted. Yeah, he wasn't the brightest. Whatever happened to him, I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's like looking like the guy off the Lord of the Rings now with his meth bowl. Like, my precious, my precious. What's that motherfucker's name? If someone grabs your gun, can you legally pull it out and unload it on them, or would that be illegal? Well, I think that would be a difficult situation because if somebody grabs your gun and you can pull it back out, that means you have control of the gun, so the threat is done. But I'm not a lawyer. There's a lot of scenarios you could go through. Oh, and what was that? There's an app I downloaded recently. I have to look back on my emails because I've been so busy here lately. Y'all forgive me. But somebody wanted me to download Tumblr. I think it was Tumblr. So I could go live and then like interact with some of y'all. I was thinking about doing that. My next weekend, I have a few days off. I have a story. It was in 2007. I was pulling my boat and after fishing trip by myself, and there was some sketchy looking guy standing in the middle of the boat ramp with his hood up. What gun did you have, Texas, with you? A hoodie is already sketchy. Well, see, hoodies are sketchy, but I wear a hoodie a lot. I get cold easy. He ran because he couldn't get shot by a high point. That's a good. It might have been why the cop didn't want me to reach in my pocket. And I was kindly told him to get out the way. I was pulling my boat in when he told me, "Why don't you make me get out of the way?" And I was like, "Don't waste my time, kid." He was some young guy. He could have just been in his feelings, though. You know how young folks are, probably fatherless. But yeah, I mean, like, have you ever been a young guy and got in your feelings, think you some big badass? We all have done it. But yeah, it kind of piss you off when people try you. But I'm glad. Did it anything else bad happen? So I jumped off the boat and was like, dude, you have to get out of the way. When all of a sudden he ran at me and pushed me into the water and threw some sand at my face. Oh, damn. Yeah, you can't tell by the body language and well, you can tell a lot by somebody's eyes too. Body language in their eyes, where they looking. Pocket sand. Hey, that sand really will blind you. Get all in your eyes, hard to get out. Now I'm waiting for the ending of the story. It's getting good. What happened next, Texas? So I was wiping the sand off my face and I was beyond pissed. So I grabbed him by his neck and shoved him in the water. I don't know what was going through my head. I was trying to drown the kid. And then as your attorney, I'm gonna just say, don't tell him about the whale. I'm just kidding. So did you let him go? Did he quit bubbling? Was he floating when you left, swim with the fishes now? Well, at least you left him live. Allegedly, he's living. Or you did hold him too long. The bubbles quit coming up. And then he was like, oh shit, I fucked up. And like, you went back out on your boat after grabbing like about 8 good rocks, and shoved the pockets and pants full of rocks. And you pushed them over the edge for catfish food. Yeah, he probably got PTSD of boat ramp. Now he's like, fuck a boat ramp and boats. Maybe it did. I'm pretty sure it taught him a lesson. Well, that's good. You never got in trouble for it. I would have pleaded like temporary insanity. Was that Weekend at Bernie's, J-Lo? I was that's been a while or one time, let's see. I was probably 18. My buddy was 17. And we was out in the middle of the country and stuff. And this guy just runs up to the car, banging on the car and stuff like that, like, help me, let me in and stuff. And I was like, no, dude, no. The windows is up, doors locked. It's in the middle of the night. We was fucked up. And like, we was thinking it might be a setup, serial killer, anything like that. And then like 6 weeks later, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure the same guy's picture was posted up at boat ramps and stuff like that, asking, has anybody seen him? Said that I think they found his truck and his boat, or just no, it was the truck and his boat trailer at a Walmart parking lot, and they never found him or his boat. Yeah, let's not do no incriminations. What time is it? Hmm. It could have been his ghost. They should make self-offense legal. Like if somebody tries to kill you and then they quit trying to kill you, you should be able to like self-offense them instead of self-defense. Man, I gotta bring Blue in. What time is it again? It's 3:20. What percentage? I'm 68. Ain't too bad. Let's see. Any more crazy stories? Let's see. Oh, I got one, but it's not involving me. It's involving my grandpa. But let me bring Blue in real quick and remind me of this story. Oh, I got two of them involving him. He was a gangster back in the day. I forgot, but I got two. One was a story that was told to me by a couple different people, including a judge that was a local judge around here that grew up in the neighborhood and everything else. And then the story that my grandpa told me of this event. Nah, I ain't seen any more of those. Be right back. I'm gonna go grab Blue. before I get too spooked. Let me grab my self-defense pocket sand. Pocket sand check. Pocket grenade check. First, before I leave, y'all need to get like me. I carry around pocket sand, pocket grenade, and a whole pocket full of Plan Bs. I'm a real man. Yeah. I'll be right back. Going to get blue. Where's my flashlight? Already on. Yeah. Dude, he's still on the leash. Hold on. I gotta go. got no treats in there. I'll get you some dog food. You ate all your dog food. I ain't got no treats tonight. I was eating leftovers and I ain't got no scraps. Blue. Why you like that chair? Why you like that chair so much? Here, let me take this off for you. Here you go, lady. You's a good doggy. Yes, sir. I'm not gonna take your chair. You good, you good. I know, I don't. It take too long to heat up this big old room during the week. Just to sit in here for an hour after work. You. Who's a big baby? That's you, ain't you? You as big as me. How are you such a big baby? Don't be chewing on that. Don't be chewing on that. You know better. That's my skit pants. That's my skit pants. That's my skit pants. I know you're excited. You just got to calm down with your big floppy ears. Yeah, you got some big old floppy ears. You done stole somebody's ears. Oh yeah, sorry about that, y'all. Well, come here. Say hey. Tell them hey. Right here. Look, you see them? You done took off. Ain't nothing to eat up here. Everybody still here? Sorry about that. You too big for that little chair. You know that. Don't start playing them games, because you know good and well that you ain't going to stay out there. You just wanting to go and run around, play around, and it's too cold for all that. We ain't going to do all. Come here. We're not racing. Come here. Blue. What you done got? I don't care. You can have that. That's mine. It's mine. I got it. It's mine. Don't get my things now. Be careful. You don't bite me. My savage. Hey, you have it. You can have it. You my little savage, my big savage. All right. You gonna be okay for right now? Big baby. Who done deleted the message? Yeah, Pocket Essentials. Yeah, you can't really beat a Colt. Them Kimbers are nice too. I ain't never shot one, but I held one in the store. Now for the Gramp story. Okay. There's a few stories of my grandpa I could tell y'all. But this one in particular, we're sitting at the table eating lunch. Grandma just got done cooking. We got done praying. We done fixed our plates. We sitting there eating. What was the message that was retracted? Anyway, I was all of a sudden there was a knock at the door. My grandpa gets up and he goes, answers the door, the front door. Blue, are you messing with something you ain't supposed to be? Oh, you good. You good. Look like you was standing up on the counter, on the edge of the counter. But had a knock at the door. Opened the door up, and it was the neighbor's wife, which you never really seen, and his two kids, a daughter and a son. And the kids was older than me and my brother. And Grandpa opened the door. She had black eyes, and she was like one eye was gonna turn purple, and her eye was kind of red, like the eye white part. And she was crying, and she asked my grandpa, said that the neighbor got real drunk and said that he's gotten a little bad today, and said that asked if she could stay up here until he went to sleep, and she could go home. My grandpa told her, said, you can stay here as long as you want to, and just go home whenever you feel safe and comfortable to go home. And he got us to go grab 2 more chairs or 3 more chairs out the dining room, and I think we extended the table, put that little middle section in it, and grabbed 3 more plates, and they started eating with us, prayed over the meal again and eating with us. And maybe about 10 minutes after they started eating and everything, you hear the rumbling of a big truck pull up in the driveway. And the dog in the backyard started barking, and that was Grandpa's telltale sign. If the dog's in the back barking, something ain't right, somewhere in the yard. And Grandpa heard the truck, and he got up, looked out the window, and he seen the neighbor, because we got up and peeked too. After Grandpa left the window and turned his back, we got up and peeked out the window, and the man had a shotgun, and he's walking towards the back door. And my grandpa used to keep a little 38 snub nose in a sewing machine drawer by the back door. Hey, buddy. What's up? What's up? What you doing? You looking so cute. But yeah, my grandpa used to have a sewing machine drawer, a 38 special he used to keep in the sewing machine drawer. And he put it in his pocket, his front pocket, and walked out the door. And the neighbor, he had, I'm not sure what kind of shotgun it was, but he had a shotgun in his hand. And I could hear him say, I need you to quit holding my wife and my kids. They need to come back home with me right here, right now. And my grandpa, I seen him slip his hand in his pocket, and he said, listen here. And it said the man's name. He said, I ain't keeping your wife or kids for nothing. He said, they came up to my house. They wanted to stay here for a little while. And he said, they're going to stay here as long as they want. And when they're ready to go home, they're going to go home. And he said, he said, who's going to stop you? or who's gonna stop me? And he said, I will. He said, best thing you can do is put that shotgun back in your truck and get back in your truck and leave. And the man mumbled something, and Grandpa told him, he said, look, you ain't enough man to deal with me. He said, I crawled over dead bodies on Normandy Beach. He said, I ain't afraid of no little man like you. He said, all I have to do is just move. And he said, that'll be the last moment you lived in this world. He said, would you prefer it that way, or would you prefer going back home and sleeping off your drunk and just act like this was a bad memory? And it's not word for word, but he said something that was very slick as hell to that man. And that man apparently lost his nerve to fuck with my probably 80-year-old grandpa at that time, and threw his shotgun in the back. You could hear he kind of mad. He threw his shotgun in the back, mumbled some more stuff about to my grandpa, under his breath kind of. And he got in the truck and he peeled out and went back to his yard. And after a little while, I guess, I don't remember what else happened, but after a little while, I'm assuming the man went to sleep and the wife and kids went back home. Do I live across from a big church? I live near a church. Why? What's up? Why would you ask that? You asked me that before about a church. Why would you ask that, Texas? Well, my grandpa always said he was just a simple country boy. He wasn't no badass or no tough man. He wasn't no hero. He was the nicest man you'd meet. But why would you think I live across from a big church, Texas? I don't know why people test people like that either. What else? What else? Something else my grandpa did. Oh, my grandpa used to own Christmas trees. Well, he owned like a bunch of land where he had like cedar trees planted on. I guess one day he was wanting to, like, when they got real big and tall, like sell them, the wood to a logging company or something. And have I seen? Oh, that's where you get it from that video with the white truck. Now I ain't seen that creepy white truck again, but I don't jog down the highway at night no more. I try not to jog down the highway no more. I feel like uh peace of mind, like my safety level of what I can defend myself from going down the road jogging versus what I can defend myself from if I'm in a gym. Oh shit, you scared the fuck out of me, Blue. I forgot you was right there, buddy, when you moved. Oh shit. Versus like being in a gym, and here soon I'm gonna make the front room into my own personal gym for like home. Getting a treadmill here soon, and I'm gonna just start doing a lot of my exercises during the rainy times and the cold times in the house. Now it was just kind of weird because there is a church like damn near close to my house, and I was like, how does somebody fucking know there's a church pretty close to my house? Because I try to, for like safety reasons, like for like family and stuff, like like people dox you and shit like that. And there's some crazy people out there. Like, I'm not saying you are, but like somebody I was thinking had to get some info on me or some shit. You turned your basement into a gym? That's badass. Like your basement probably bigger than my front room. Yeah, I live in a very safe neighborhood. Like I'm the most dangerous looking person in my neighborhood. It's a pretty uppity neighborhood. Like the property beside me was sold for like the man purchased it for like a pretty for a fortune. I ain't gonna say a small fortune, for a fortune. Like enough money for like 5 people to retire if they were smart with their money. I am turning my front room, the creepy room, into a gym. Yeah, my neighborhood is mostly just old people too. Well, yeah, there's a few young people down the road up here, but really, like over here, like my house is like off by itself. There's a house over here, kind of close, and then there's a house like way, way up there, over the hill and stuff, and then through the woods over there, there's like another large estate like this one over there, but theirs is bigger. And then beside it is like a company. That's all I'm gonna say. Like let's just say like a country company. Like they go out and do services and stuff. And then on the other side is a house, but that's like a mile that way. So like probably within a mile, like if you went like half a mile that way, let's say if you went a mile that way, then there's two houses on this side of the road, and there's like two houses on that side of the road. And then if you went a mile that way, there's a house, my neighbor, and then like some kind of company over there. Not trying to give away a lot of stuff. And then beside it is a house. And then there's nothing all the way down until you get into the city. And then on the other side of the road, there's like two houses on that side. And then there's a church somewhere along there. I think somebody was either following me or like trying to plot something because I kept seeing like this truck parked like pretty much across from my house, like around the times I was going jog and stuff. And then I'd see it like going by, and then one time it stopped in the middle of the road, like where the road turns to the side, and I'm jogging, and they cut their bright lights on, and like they just sit there forever. Like by the time they was way up the road, and by the time I got almost to the truck, I realized they ain't turning. Something ain't right with this. So I stopped jogging and put my hand in my pocket to get a grip on my pistol. And I walked way off on the side of the road in case he decided to like drive at me, like to try to hit me with his vehicle. Cause it was like 12:30, 1:30 in the morning. I'm jogging up the highway. And so I was walking like fur off the road in the grass near the wood up until I got like right where I was right at, like where I could walk diagonal to right to his passenger window or the driver's window to like ask him, say, hey man, what's going on over here? Can I help you? And right when I got where I was going, I started walking over like towards him. He turned up that road and stopped on the hill and just sat there. And I was like, that's weird. So I walked past the road, and then when I got past that, over the road back into the grass, I got far in the grass, and I jogged the rest of the way home. And that was probably about another half a mile from the house then, so it wasn't too bad. But that was when I first started exercising, so it's still a long ways then. But yeah, it was scary. I had a few other incidences and stuff where the truck was driving by. Yeah, it was something did chase me over there on that road that I walked through on that one live stream and nothing happened. And you couldn't really see the road too good because we didn't have good lighting. But me myself, peace of mind is better. Like I need to exercise and I do it for myself. I'm not doing it. If I feel like I'm not safe doing something, I'm gonna try to find something I feel safer doing. It could be a fan wanting an autograph, but I would think they would want to approach me a different way. Or either it could be one of them people like anti gunners that don't like me because around that time, I like 6 months prior, I was getting a few death threats through emails and stuff like that, and uh, through comments that was held for review. And even when I approved them, that YouTube wouldn't let me. I guess they'll take it down because it was inappropriate, and or maybe somebody reported. I don't know, but and then all of a sudden it just stopped because I kept calling it out and stuff. And then like when it stopped, maybe a few weeks after is when that truck started popping up and stuff. And in my mind, the people I know that's actually out to hurt somebody, they ain't gonna tell you they're gonna do it. They're gonna just do it, you know? Man, that's so scary. I don't even really. I'll tell it, but I don't like talking about it. Really, that's a scary one. It makes me scared telling you about it. It wasn't like a person chasing me. It was like they was following me, or like I felt like they were trying to find a good spot to do something to me. Maybe grab me up. They might have not even known who I was and just thought I was a good target to do some crazy shit to, Or it could have been some people fucked up thinking I was somebody else, or they could have been like some kind of serial killers or some young folks that, people was getting hit. People started hitting people on bicycles and jogging and stuff just for the hell of it on videos. And I figured that could have been some teenagers just wanting to hit somebody with a car and then keep going. You know what I mean? I don't know. We live probably about an hour from the mountains, like from the closest mountains where we like to go camping sometimes off in bear country. But I'll tell the story. I'm gonna be brief on it because it spooks me telling about it. They might be some there. They might migrate. You know what I mean? Might be too many smart hillbillies in the mountains. Like we ain't falling for that shit, and they gotta go elsewhere. Like the bears and shit, go start eating. The deer start eating trash and shit. But anyway, I hate telling this story. But I I was hanging out with two other buddies of mine, and we're gonna call one L, one D. Okay. And D, we was smoking pot and drinking. Let's just be honest. We was heavily smoking pot and we was heavily drinking. But D, he also liked to take pills like Xanax, Klonopin, Valium. Just had like a little fucking hillbilly trail mix going on, you know? And man, my mouth dry. I gotta get some water after this story. And he went outside. Him and his woman wasn't getting along, so he went outside, I guess, fussing with his woman on the phone or his girlfriend, whatever. And a little while later, he comes back in, white as hell, look like he done seen a ghost. And we're like, "What's wrong, D?" And he was like, "They something out there." And he was explaining that he was out there talking on the phone, and he seen this white thing come up that was real short, had a giant head, big black eyes, long arms, long fingers, real skinny, no hair. It looked like a Asian person skin, kind of like a albino Asian person skin, and that's the best I can describe it. Like it looked like skin though, and said that it came up at him and it screeched. It looked dead at him and it screeched. And he was so afraid that he was gonna throw his phone at him, but he didn't know what to do. He just froze in fear. And we're laughing at him like, "Man, you need to quit all them pills. They making you see things and shit." Joning on them, just giving them shit, because we didn't really take pills or nothing like that. We just smoked pot and drank. And a few weeks later, it was me and Elle just drinking. And he goes out and he's fussing with his girlfriend on the phone. Well, first they was fussing at the house. She left, and he fussing with her on the phone. And basically, after a little while, I think D might have been there too. But after a little while, he comes back in, and he's seen the same thing, same incident. And then about a week later, the same thing happened to me. I was fussing with my woman on the phone, and I happened to see it. And I was frozen in fear. It just filled me full of terror. Like I can't even explain it. And like his eyes, it looked like it had rage in it. It was like have you ever seen like a super pale Asian person? Like one that looks almost albino? It was like that's how the skin looked. And like the fingers was real long and thin. The arms were real long and thin. The torso was real big, but the legs was real small and thin, like short and thin. But his head was like huge, and his eyes was big and black. And I don't. It might have had a small mouth. I don't really remember seeing a mouth. But his eyes, when it screeched, it like had rage in his eyes. Oh, I don't even like. Oh, I got chill, but I don't even like talking about it. How far was it from me? It was. I'd say between 5 and 10 feet. No, not 10 feet. 8 and 10 feet. It wasn't too far away from me. I couldn't reach out and touch it. Man, it give me chills thinking about it. Yeah, it could have just lunged at me, but it just screeched at me, and next thing I know, it was gone. Well, I seen it, and when it screeched, well, I guess it made the first move because I was on the phone. I seen it going sideways, and then all of a sudden it was facing me. Like I seen it walking sideways behind these like bushes, and like I seen the legs and the fingers. And then I was like, what is that? And then I seen it come out from behind it. And next thing you know, it was like facing me. And it must have covered some distance. I didn't even see it move after it come out from the edge where I could see its full body. But it like, cause it was back there and then it was up on me like, oh, I'm getting chills. Ooh. It was on me. It was like it was probably like 20 feet, 30 feet away, and then like that, it was like 8 feet in front of me. And when it first started screeching, I had my phone and I didn't put my phone down because I was just like stunned and like what the heck is going on? Because I didn't know what it was. What the heck, you know? And then when it covered that distance and it screeched, like I went and put my phone back like that, and I was just so terrified. I was even afraid to throw my phone at it. No, I didn't run off. Like I guess I was frozen in fear. Never have done that before or since. And just when the screeching was done, it was gone. The damnedest thing. Damnedest thing. What's up, Alex? How you doing tonight, bud? No, it wasn't taller than me. It was significantly shorter than me. Probably 4 feet, no more than 5 feet tall. I went inside. I was I was shooken for a few days, maybe a whole week. I was shooken. Like I was noticeably disturbed by what happened. You know, they saying it was a banshee. Like everybody else said, the other two people that seen it said it was a banshee. Like I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, the noise it made, no human could physically mimic this noise, or no animal. Like nothing. I mean, I'm terrified thinking about it right now. I'll be honest with you, 100% honest with you. What is a banshee? It's something. I'm not too sure. I looked it up a long time ago. Somebody look up banshee. It's like a some kind of mythical creature. What was all on surveillance footage at the gas station? No, it was just like a noise, like a screech. No, it didn't vibrate to my knowledge. It filled me full of the most fear I've ever felt in my life. Nothing else has compared to it. It was crazy. I locked my door. I think I locked both of them. Man, I gotta quit eating peanut butter because I'm gaining my pounds back. I gained. I gained like a pound this week instead of being 194 like last week when my week was over. I was 195, and I want to get that mother 15 pounds off. Hopefully. Oh, I need some water too. I'm thirsty. Trying to think of something else creepy that's happened. I've had some weird shit happen. Now, this story came from an uncle of mine, a great uncle of mine, and he wasn't the type to tell stories or to talk on anything supernatural or weird. Hey, Blue. Hey, buddy. But don't be begging for this. But they was talking about they was going home from a road trip. They went somewhere on vacation. And for I think almost an hour and a half of their travel, in the middle of the night, no other cars on the road, there was a black man on the interstate running with a solid white suit on, like head to toe white shoes, everything. And he was running. Oh, I'm getting chills just by look. Y'all gonna see these chills, man. Just by just him telling me this, I could see the fear in him when he was telling me this. But he said the guy was running the same speed as their car, and their car was going 80 miles an hour, and the man kept pace while making eye contact with him while running down the road. And all him and his other three brothers was in the car with him, and this black guy was smiling ear to ear, wearing an all-white suit, ran beside the car at 80 miles an hour for an hour and a half. Is that not terrifying? Believe me, you could have had SEAL Team 6 with you, and nobody would have done nothing to that thing. Could have been. Well, you gotta think back then they didn't have meth. Oh, he could have been a revolutionary. It could have been a ghost, but that's some crazy shit, ain't it? Nobody's capable of running 80 miles an hour while making eye contact with the cars running beside, like the person in the car, and while smiling ear to ear. That's some freaky shit. Could have been Satan. Lord, forgive me. They said eventually he just disappeared. Yeah, they said that guy was a really dark-skinned black guy. Said he had the biggest smile they ever seen in their life. And while he was running, he was smiling and making eye contact with my uncle, the one in particular that was telling me the story. Yeah, he's the one that told me that. That's just some scary shit because he told us that in the middle of the night while we was going down the interstate. And yeah, all the brothers seen it. But he was staring at him like in the eyes, like making eye contact with him, smiling. That's creepy as fuck. No, last I know, I seen him about a year ago in Walmart. He was still alive and healthy. He done retired and everything. To me, that's crazy as heck because two of the three uncles or two of the four uncles I know didn't tell long tales, didn't tell nothing like that. One of them, he was big in aliens and stuff, so he could have came up with something, you know. The other one, I didn't know that great. He seemed pretty level headed. Let's see. This one's a small story. We was out fishing with Grandpa, and we was on some rocks fishing. Like it was like a big rock and another little rock beside it. And my brother sat up on the big rock beside my grandpa because it was a big rock, and I sat on the little rock beside it. And we was fishing. They're pretty decent sized rocks, though. I don't know why I'm going off about rocks like some retard, but not retard. Lord forgive me, not Lord. But you know they might take me down for saying it. But anyway, special needs person. Why'd I get so sidetracked, man? Damn. Anyway, we sit there fishing and everything. And I'm telling my grandpa some crazy ass shit. I was like 6, 7 years old. You know how kids just go off talking. Grandpa looks over at me. You know, I guess to acknowledge that he hears me. You know, talking. And he glances over at me, and then he glances over at me again, and he says, "No matter what you do, son, don't move." And he's like not looking at me, he's looking over my shoulder. And he had his hands on his fishing rod. And I turn my head because it's a natural reaction to look and see what he's looking at. And right when I turn my head, I heard a deafening bang and a ringing sound. And what I looked at was a snake missing its head. A copperhead done got on this rock on the far end and then curled up, like I guess like it was going to strike, but it was a what's it called, copperhead, and he shot it with a 38. Like he went from hands on fishing rod fishing to draw that 38 out and shot that thing like that. Like turn my head, he done draw the gun and shot the thing. And that was like crazy in my mind. Like I still can't replicate that to this day. African tribe member chasing a guy. I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, you can send me a link on it if you want to my email. That snake got smoked. And the crazy thing was, this was like one of them little hidden fishing spots, like you had to know the fishing spot to go to. And we went to that fishing spot like a year later, and that snake was a bone. It was a curled up snake bone. It was still sitting in the same position it was a year prior to it. Wanted to keep the skeleton, but Grandpa wouldn't let me. It's blue like the color. BLUE like the color. That was his name when he came from the pound. He's got to be about 11 years old now. I got him about 2 years old, 2 years ago when he was 9. After Goliath went missing, I think the neighbor shot him. He got loose, and I think the mean old neighbor shot him over at the other house. He wouldn't ever hurt nobody, but that's kind of fucked up, but I ain't got no way to prove it. Probably better that way. But it kind of sucks when you don't know what happened to your dog. Yeah, a-hole neighbor. Ain't got no closure, but I decided to get Blue. Nobody's gonna get him, and he's been in there a long time. You know, they put them dogs down, and he's a handful, but he getting better. Like he don't really tear up nothing. He did kind of like he will grab my clothes and like hold them in his mouth for some reason, and I don't know why. There's a spot in the yard. I was thinking about doing a video on it. I caught it on my security camera. Like Blue, he'll pee at the same spot. These bushes I cut down that's growing back, that they're little holly bushes I got cut down again. Probably pour something on it like diesel to kill it. But basically every time Blue goes by there, when I take him out at night, or take him in at night, or take him out in the morning, he'll stop and pee at that one spot. And I always wondered why, and I was looking on security camera, and there's a dog, usually about an hour before he comes out at night, or 2 hours before he comes out at night. He'd come out somewhere around like anywhere between like 10 and 11:44 is the latest I've seen the dog do it. But every night, the dog come out and pee at that same spot. And then in the morning time, the dog will come through anytime between like 8 and 10 in the morning, and he'll pee in the same spot, or she will pee in the same spot every single morning. And Blue will smell it when they pee. And he's like, they got like a little turf war going on. Like, nah, bitch, this is my spot. Quit peeing on my spot. Psst, there it goes. He likes to taste the freedom. Hopefully not too much. He eats my face, you know what happened. I love Blue. Blue's a good doggy though. He really is. It's taking a, because they said they found him in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the woods, and he was so skinny that he couldn't get up, and that the grass he was laying on done died where he'd been laying there and couldn't really move because he done got, I guess, so malnourished and stuff. And they said they had to give him like double rations of food for a long time to get him back where he could stand up. And still, like for the longest, up until like maybe the last year, I couldn't really get him to fatten up, and he started now fattening up here. Really, really good. Like the last 6 months, he's really doing good, keeping that weight on. And but they say Blue, and Blue don't really. I don't know if, I don't think he has a hearing problem, but Blue don't really. He must not. He has some kind of training though, because Blue understands the door. He understands barking if he needs to go out. Well, but he don't know how to distinguish. I need to bark to let you know I got to pee, or bark because I want to play and run around the yard. And he'd get on the bed, but he won't sleep up by my head. He'll sleep at the foot of the bed. And if there's anything, like if I take my shirt off and throw it on the ground, like just before I go to bed or something, or like I sleep, nude. So if I throw like my clothes off and I put them hang them on the bed now. But I guess he thought that was someplace he was supposed to lay, because he would always curl up. Because I put the first night he stayed in the house, I put puppy pads down because I've never had him in the house before. And he laid on the puppy pads all night long, like it was his little bed or some little spot made up for him. And basically, anywhere that you put some kind of cloth on the ground, he thinks that's his little spot made for him to lay down at. So basically, I don't keep nothing on the ground, even if it's just overnight till I get up. I just hang it on the end of the bed, or either go ahead and put it in a dirty clothes basket. And he'd get up on the bed, we'll play for a little while. I pet him, he'd put his head in my lap and sit there and watch my phone or comment or email while petting Blue and talking to him. And then when I lay down, he'll go to his side of the bed and he'll curl up at the foot of the bed. But then again, if it's storming, I found out here recently, he'd get over next to me if it's storming. He don't play around in the storm. He don't like all that. The little limbs and stuff will brush the awnings and the lightning and shit. But he's a good dog, yeah. But yeah, he's apparently had some training. Like he pooped in the house one time, and he peed in the house one time. The time he pooped, it was really soft, so I guess he might have not been feeling that great. And the one time he peed, he been barking a while, but every time he barks, he ain't never had to pee. He just wanted to go out and play. So I was just like, Blue, just wait a little bit. And then he drizzled a little bit in the floor. And I took him out and he peed for a very long time. I put him in the pen. And I realized that I got to figure out his barks don't sound no different though. He won't play bark or he got pee bark. And like if I got up and took him out, because here lately we trying to learn each other. He's done learn like if I'm sleeping and you really ain't got to pee, to lay up here and chill. Or I open the bedroom door and you just run through the house and play around, smell around the house until I get up. But if you really, really got to pee, you come up to me, keep barking, and I'm like, Blue, wait, and he keeps barking, and I'm gonna get him, take him out because like I don't know, he just like Sarge don't ever want to go out anyway, but Blue. Anytime I look like I'm going to the door or pick up something that jingles, he'll go to the door, wagging his tail, ready to go outside and sniff the yard, because he's a hound dog. And then if I take him out to go pee and then bring him back in, he's like, that's a bullshit ass walk because you're just trying to walk me in one spot. And I want to walk around the whole yard because I used to do that. I used to think he had to go out and pee and his mother be sniffing around and he want to take me all through the whole yard. And I'm just trying to let him pee or poop or whatever he got to do so I can go to bed. But he don't understand that. But now he's starting to understand. He a good doggy, though. But I think he was probably a hunting dog. And, like a young hunting dog and he got lost. Because, if you got hunting dogs, sometimes you lose. Well, a lot of times you lose a bunch of young hunting dogs until they've really been true and tried. So I think that's why he was found in the woods in the middle of nowhere because a hound dog can just catch a scent and they can go miles and miles and miles until they realize they lost, like because they've been following that scent for so long. Yeah, he's like, oh man, I ain't done yet. 3 people in. I forgot to even look how many people in. It's 4 in the fucking morning. I'm about to get off of here. It's getting late. I am having a good time though. You cold, Blue? You must be having a dream or something. Anyone in there asleep? Man, time does fly because I wasn't planning on being on here but an hour. Yeah, it's a pretty good live stream. If I get a treadmill, would it be weird to run or jog in full gear, like with a M4 and a vest, like a plate carrier? Would that be weird? Yeah, that is how you know. It's just time flies by. I guess I'll let it go the 3 more minutes, make it 2 hours and 40 minutes. Remember with sirens playing on the speaker? I really be on the watch list. But you know what? I don't skip leg day. I can run for freedom, motherfucker. God bless you too, man. I hope you have a good night. I hope all y'all have a wonderful night. I meant to wash my dishes. I got about 6 or 8 dishes I need to wash, but I guess I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, there's gonna be some loud clapping, but it ain't gonna be from your feet. Oh, there's gonna be some clapping and rocking back and forth. But if you hear no, don't, it's opposite day in the camper. That's bullshit. You go to the camper and they like, I thought you said there was liquor in here. It's opposite day in the camper, boy. All aboard the Diddy Express. I should do a video about a Diddy Express. Where are my sunglasses? Oh well. All aboard the Diddy Express. Let me take you shopping. You like liquor? Got my own Diddy brand back here. Ain't that right, Blue? Ain't that right? We got our own Diddy brand. We got our own Diddy brand. Yeah. I'm P. Diddy. I lick my lips more than you do, Blue. I lick my lips more than you. Let me rub them ears, boy. Let me rub them ears. Oh, yeah. Come here. Come here. Come here. Show everybody that pretty face. Come over here and show everybody that pretty face. Don't be shy. Don't be camera shy. Come up here. Come here. Come here. Don't be camera shy. It's not. What? You just want to check me out, make sure I'm okay? Well, now you going to bed? I'm about to join. Gotta pray for her. I got a whole camper full of chapstick. But I like to use my lips because I'm Diddy. Don't never trust a man who's like, oh, we're going to make a contract today. You just call me baby. Or hey, you can call me Puff Daddy. This is how it really goes. Hey, you can call me Puff Daddy. Oh, Lord. See, that's how you know he ain't normal. Like me licking my lips like that, my lips are highly over moisturized. I gotta wipe that shit off. Something ain't right with Diddy. And that's how you know, like rich people like that, like you can buy too much shit. Like Charleston White say, like you if you rich like that and you start having sex with like 3, 4 women at a time, and next thing you know, you can't even just get your dick hard with one woman. Then you get bored when you're having 6 women because you used to having all these women. And then next thing you know, you need more freakier and freakier shit. That's crazy. That's why you don't want that kind of money. Sign this paper. Better yet, meet me in the back. I got a better deal for you. Oh, well, I got to get going, though, because it's getting late. I could go forever. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, commenting to all my videos. From here in South Carolina to wherever you are in this world, I wish all you the best. And me and Blue said, we love you guys and good night. Peace, y'all.